my favorite part of this show so far is this murder mystery kind of feel.
Yeah.
I love it when Star
cool.
Wars leans into a genre where it still has a slight Star Wars feel, but it really like builds the show around a new genre. That's when it does it the best because we've had so much Star Wars here.
Hey, welcome back to the Aftershow, here on the Breakroom, for the ACOLYTE this time, an all-new Star Wars show. Hit that graphic.
Pew, 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 pew.
The Aftershow.
The
Aftershow. ACOLYTE.
That's right, you Star Wars freaks. Today we're talking about episode 1 and 2 of The Acolyte, the first live-action series set in the High Republic era of the Star Wars universe. What the heck happened on Brandok?
What did the Jedi do?
What did these evil Jedi do?
They did something. There was a cover-up.
Ooh.
What did the evil Jedi do? That is from a certain point of view.
They're all evil. We gotta get rid of these Jedi, and we're gonna need more than 2 people to do it.
Don't worry, Mae's on it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on Team Mae. Hey, we'll get into more of that big question and all of our other questions from these first 2 episodes. I'm Brandon Barrick, and joining me today, we often find him shirtless in the office, steaming his shirts. It's Eric Voss.
I don't like creases. They bother me as I'm wearing the most wrinkled shirt that I pulled out of my suitcase on the last day I'm here.
It looks great.
I should have steamed it.
It looks great. It looks great. Also joining us today, she knows you're going to hate the tattoo she got while she was out partying with some other mechnics. It's Maud Garrett.
Woo!
You don't like it, do you?
That was the most innocuous
I'm
tattoo.
wild.
She's like, you hate it, don't you? It's 2 little stripes.
Yeah, what's
It's a very
to hate?
simple tattoo.
But it's the differentiating point between 2 twins. That's why they put
okay.
it in
That's
there.
important. Oh, that
okay.
is important.
There you
Well,
go.
it was she has the arm marking, whereas Mae has the forehead spiral.
And-
It's different.
The mullet.
She's got longer hair, yeah.
She's short at the
Mae's
front.
got long. She's got the party mullet.
The hair was great
Lots
on
of
this show.
mullets.
I love the hair on
Yeah,
this show.
some
This is
fun
awesome. Yord Fandar's hair looks fucking
I
cool.
love that.
Very
I
trendy.
love it. I'm not
Very
being
trendy.
ironic.
What about Tommen's hair? I refuse to use his Jedi name.
Torben. Okay,
enough.
the aging up on Torben was a bit interesting. The chin strap.
So man-child.
I think that's why he took the poison. He's like, I can't handle
He
this.
started
Is
balding
this
at
what my
13.
hair looks like? No one cut my hair while I was sitting here?
Yeah, he's having literally the biggest mantrum ever.
Well, maybe they tried to get scissors and they're like,
Okay. So he was not meditating for 10 years, Brandon. Okay,
Yeah.
I saw that in the notes. No, he just took a vow of silence for 10 years,
no, I
and
think
then he
he's been in
spends
that
long.
state for 10 years.
So his bladder's just ready to pop. He doesn't. You can't live for 10 years.
If you're not taking in water, it's not coming out.
He's in some sort of forced state.
He would have stunk. They would have shown
The
that
Force-
on their faces.
The Force
if he-
keeps him clean.
No, I think he just took a vow of silence and he does these long meditation
Well,
sessions.
what's he trying to keep silent?
Ooh, great question, Maud. We've got a lot to talk about with these first 2 episodes. We had a lot of fun watching them. We'll also get into what horrible things these 4 Jedi did to make Mae target them. What really happened on Brandok with the Nisia family, and who is the mystery villain hiding behind this mask? And are they a Sith? I don't know.
Yeah.
And if they are a Sith, why are they risking revealing themselves by having Mae go do these weird little no weapon kills? I don't know. Before we get into all of our questions, Maud, kick us off with a little bit of a recap.
I would be so happy to. So, episode 1. Mae, played by Amandla Stenberg, finds Master Indara. Not to be confused with Fourth Wings and Andara, which is a dragon in it.
I got
don't know if anyone
confused.
else had that, just me.
I kept waiting for the dragon to show up.
Who's played by Carrie Ann Moss for 4 minutes.
This was
But
wild.
what a 4 minutes!
This was wild.
Like, the biggest smoke and mirrors we ever got was that she was our main character through this whole series. No, not true.
This was like a very Mission Impossible move where they promoted that first movie with Christian Slater and all these people, and then they die right in the beginning.
Or Janet Leigh in Psycho, Drew Barrymore in Scream.
Yeah.
Colby
Suicide
Smulders
Squad-
in Secret Invasion.
Damn, dude. Damn,
Suicide
dude.
Squad 2. Anyway, she's hanging out in a noodle bar, and Mae goads her into a fight. Indara says that Jedi don't hurt those without weapons, but Mae contests, yes, they do.
I do like her starting move. Like,
Yeah, she does this thing, fight me.
attack me as hard as you can.
You must attack. She's like, sweetie, check the room. What are you doing? Like, we're just having noodles. Like, no. Anyway, the two Force wielders battle with a kind of Force foo, but Mae, interestingly, always reaches for the lightsaber on the hip. Mae has an interesting spiral pattern on her forehead hidden by her hair. Now, the hair is a main character in itself, I'll tell you that.
Good hair.
This symbol also appears on the forehead of Mother Anastasia and her coven in the trailers and posters. Thank you, Eric, for pointing that out for us.
Well, I think we're getting close. They also told us her last name. We introduced who the characters' names are, and they're like, this is Osha and Ashla. So obviously they're related, but why would you tell us Mother Anastasia? Why don't you just call her Mystery Witch?
A lot of Star Wars people only have a first name, right?
No, I understand. But if it was meant to be a reveal, like a mystery in episode 3 or 4, that Mother Anastasia is the mother to these two twin daughters, like, why would you tell us Osha's last name?
I think this is an homage to the fact that Luke was hidden from his father by putting him on his father's home planet with his last name.
So you're gonna tell me Anastasia is like another very common surname in the Star Wars universe? Okay, I buy it. I'm on.
Let me know in the comments if you picked that up or if you were like me and you were like, cool.
I like fighting.
I do. Anyway, speaking of, Mae draws hidden daggers that she hurls at the noodle cook to distract Indara and sends another blade into her chest or her heart. Which is why she died. Yeah. Because otherwise there's inconsistencies with what you can heal in the Star Wars universe. Because apparently you can get completely severed from the waist down and still survive.
But it was the High Republic mod. They didn't have like the little healing nanobots
They're
that
still
live in all
working
their
on
bodies.
Bacta. Bacta was like getting farmed. They were just unlocking the secrets of Bacta in the 100 years before this.
Yeah, they were using little Bacta bloodletting leeches back then.
That's right, episode 1 takes the most famous name on the call sheet and offs her in the opening minutes.
Crazy.
I mean, they were great minutes.
Great minutes.
It was an awesome opening.
I wish we had more Carrie-Anne Moss. Anyway.
Maybe we'll get more.
What do you know?
Nothing.
Okay.
I know that she's a great actor, and why would you kill her off immediately?
Yeah.
I know that she didn't do any interviews for this.
Okay.
Why would you if it's 4 minutes?
I think she'll be in a flashback.
So we'll get a flashback episode to learn what they did. To learn what they did.
Osha, who we later learn is Mae's twin sister, who somehow still, even though they didn't even know each other were alive, have the same haircut.
It's a little longer.
It's a little
Mace is longer than Osha's. I think their hair just naturally grows that way.
We had to talk about that, but it did take me out of the episode. But anyway, Osha works as a mechanic on a Trade Federation freighter with a very fun handheld pocket droid named Pip. Love Pip.
Pip's
Not to be
adorable.
confused with a Pip boy. This is Pip,
This is Pip.
the boy.
So this isn't Fourth Wing the novels, and it's
No.
not Fallout the TV show / video game.
No, but thank you,
Okay.
nerds, for keeping up. We've got 2 Jedi, led by Yord Fanda. Fun fact about that, did you know that was, I believe, the creators' fun D&D-esque type name?
Yord.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not
It
know
was
that.
like a joke character name, and now it's been canonized.
Now it's in
But
there.
he is such a Yord fandar.
Yord
You look
is
at this guy,
Yord.
he's like,
Yord.
I have to sit in a way
Yeah.
that does not let my cape crease at all.
That was adorable.
He's a
He's
Yord.
waiting on the bed with his cape out.
You guys can say that all you like, but I'm going to start the hashtag Yord and Maud.
Are you trying to?
Yord and Maud.
It only works in certain
Yord and
dialects of English. It doesn't work. Yord and Mod. That's how we would
Don't
read
take
it.
this moment from me, please.
Hashtag Yord and Mord. I'm here for
Yord
it.
and Mord. All right, Mord, keep going.
Anyway, those Jedi, they question Osha, who used to train at the Jedi Temple but left 6 years prior. On what terms, we don't really know. Apparently it was amicable, but the shrouds of mystery.
I guess you can just leave, which is nice.
Yeah, she's like, peace wasn't for me.
I think it's like the Groundlings, where if you make it all the way to the end, and they're like, "Sorry, we don't want you for Sunday company. You got to get out of here."
But
inside
my
baseball for you comedy nerds out there.
Anyway, they arrest Osha and send her back in a droid-piloted prisoner ship. The prisoners, however, break out and cause the ship to exit hyperspace. Osha manages to save another prisoner from a facehugger-type creature that was paralyzing him because he was a bad boy. But she got stranded without an escape pod. She barely survives the crash landing.
So we meet Master Soul, played by Lee Jung-jae, who teaches younglings at the Jedi Temple, and there's one girl who's like, I see fire, and he's like, moving on.
Yeah, fire's a thing. So is the ocean, and so is love, huh?
And then walking in to interrupt this class is Vernestra Rowe, whom readers of the High Republic books might know as a younger Jedi, who she informs Master Soul about Osha's arrest, and she just wants his support in the arrest because Osha used to be his Padawan before she left the Jedi Order. So they find out about the ship crashing on, I believe the planet's called Karnak. It's a frozen world, and Master Soul brings along his apprentice, Jackie Lawn, played by the wonderful Daphne Keane, aka X-23 from Logan. So they have to accompany Yord Fandar, who's steaming his shirt and is very embarrassed that he failed. But he's like, you know how I'll make it up to the Masters? No wrinkles. And then so they they're off to find Osha. And on the journey, Sol tells Jecki and Yord that Osha had a twin sister named Mae that, the common understanding is that he believed she had died in a fire that, Mae had started, it consumed the whole family, and that's what, led Osha to join the Jedi Order. But I have a lot of questions about, is that what the public record was? If there was no record at all of a twin sister,
then what was the fire? The fire just happened?
The fire just happened.
He saw her die, no?
Yeah, he said, but did he believe that he saw her die? Because when did it change? When in this episode did he think, oh, actually, was it just when he interrogated her and she's like, I didn't kill my wife? And then he's like, I believe in your face. It was just, a lot of it was
I think he's
internal.
hiding a lot and he's telling people different stories.
Okay. Fair enough.
What if she didn't start the fire?
It was always burning since...
Chief Palpatine went to Coruscant and took the Good Temple, Order 66, and Obi-Wan and Anakin. Leia takes prisoner droids going everywhere. Jabba the Hutt pod racing and stuff.
We didn't blow up Alderaan. They were always blowing up since the wellspring of life emitted midichlorians across the galaxy. All right, so Osha...
That was hard to do off the top of my head.
It was pretty good. You handled it very well.
No, that was bad.
So Osha experiences this creepy vision in the wreckage of the ship on Karnak, and we see her younger twin sister, and they both become young girls, and they're transported into a vision of their home planet of Brandok, and they recite this creepy rhyme. It's almost like a rhyme that girls say as they're playing jump rope or something like that.
And boys.
We're boys, yeah.
I played jump rope.
I played jump rope. Well, I mean, I represented the state doing jump rope.
Oh, you're an Olympic jump roper?
Not Olympic.
Oh, okay.
But I got moves you've never seen.
Impressive.
You went all the way to Canberra and jump roped for the king of Australia? What do you guys got there?
Canberra, the king of Australia.
Yeah. Or queen.
The king of Australia is Charles, technically, right?
Oh, I guess.
For now.
Yes, well done. See, that's how you get your facts.
It's part of the Commonwealth.
Anyway, the creepy rhyme was, I give you you.
And you give me me. Which is literally semantically the same thing. I give you you. And you're basically saying, I still gave you you.
Yeah.
Like you gave me me. Okay, I just found that interesting. But young Mae's eyes go over black. She promises that she will kill them all. And Sol's group arrives. And much like Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive, unstraps a Velcro hidden pocket and pulls out a gun and chases Osha down the ice tunnel toward a drop off. And Osha says, I didn't kill my wife. And Lee Jung-jae is like, I don't care, in a perfect Southern accent. It goes down exactly like this. And then Osha jumps off the waterfall. Oh, wait,
She trips.
She trips.
I know. I'm crossing the streams with The Fugitive.
Okay.
But that was an inspiration. Leslie Headland confirmed to us for this. But yeah, Osha trips. Sol catches her. And then I think in this moment just believes that it wasn't her. But I think there are more secrets that, are in his head. But episode 1 ends on this mystery planet as Mae approaches this mysterious figure with a distorted voice that, in my opinion, sounds like James Spader Ultron. But I think it's going to be someone else recognizable by the end of the show. This teacher, whoever they are, tells Mae that he expects her to kill without a weapon. And then he ignites a red lightsaber and says that the Jedi in his speech are purporting a dream, but their job is to kill the dream. Ooh. And then we cut to credits.
Oh, so that was episode 1.
Revan.
Fun stuff.
I reckon it's Revan.
You think it's Revan?
Yeah, he's wearing a helmet. There's a reveal. It's kind of like some key players are bringing back non-canon properties and making them canon. Thrawn is a great example. I think Revan's right there for the picking. Why not?
Okay.
Several reasons why not, but let's not let that get in the way of it.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Well, episode 2 kicks off with Mae breaking into a Jedi temple on Olega. She finds Master Torben, who's played by Dean Charles Chapman, a.k.a. Tommen in Game of Thrones.
Took me a second.
I did not recognize him at all.
That's because of that great makeup.
Tommen, which I'll only Torben is floating in a meditative trance. He's got his legs crossed. He's just vibing. His beard has grown out in very strange ways. We later learn he has taken a kind of vow of silence for 10 years. I think he's been meditating for 10 years.
No, it's just he just hasn't said a word to anyone in 10 years.
I would argue that scar on his face also somehow 10 years old.
Well, that's clearly from Brandok.
That was whatever happened on Brandok. He got slashed in the face.
His face and his eye. Mae tries to goad him into attacking her like she did in Dara by doing her little hand thing, but she finds that she's unable to penetrate this adorable literal force field around him.
Yeah, that was cool.
Doing the little punches and like, her knives won't go through.
Did he have one line of dialogue?
Eventually,
Just
when
one.
yeah.
One line of
But
more
again,
than 4 minutes though?
Flashback.
I think
We're
we're gonna see more of him. Yeah. May regroups with Chimere, who's played by Manny Jacinto, aka Jason from The Good Place, who has taken over the local apothecary shop.
Favorite character.
We don't know what happened to the other guy.
Favorite character, best acting, love him.
He was a lot of fun.
It, so good.
Yeah, we have a lot of questions about this character. We'll get into those.
In fact, I've got an idea.
Yeah.
This is for you, Disney. Oh no, DC. Replace all of Ezra Miller with him.
Oh, Manny Jacinto is the Flash?
Yep.
I like it.
Bring him in.
I think
Do you
it's
think
worth the
Austin
VFX
Butler should be the
budget.
Flash?
No.
Oh, Mama, I'll go run really fast. Oh, Mama, it's the Speed Force.
Speed force. Chip. Shut
Hey, what the fuck is this, huh?
I'm the best man alive, mama.
Oh, Mama. Oh, Mama. My daddy didn't kill my mama.
Blue.
Anyway, he's in the apothecary. He's in the apothecary
He's
shop.
taken over the apothecary shop. We don't know what happened to the original apothecarist. R.I.P. But Chimere's also aware of May's plan to kill 4 Jedi, and at her request, he whips up a poison made from a plant found on Mae and Osha's home planet.
Do we have confirmation that this is borrowed from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet?
Oh. What makes you say...
Apothecary, poison, brood.
You'll feel a cold and drowsy humor. He didn't say that. I'm just remembering Shakespeare.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I just love the word apothecary. Let's all
It is
say
a
And their
baller
veins will run
word.
a cold and drowsy humor.
Apothecary.
Apothecary.
Great
Apothecary.
word.
I refuse to go to a doctor. I only go to apothecaries. Chimere...
Bacta leeches.
delicious. Bacta
Eh.
Chimere, this character is like, he knows what May's up to. He knows what her plans are. He knows who this like leader figure is.
He knows the Sith code. Because they reference peace is a lie, which is like, how would a lay person who wasn't one of either the 2 Sith who are around somewhere in hiding, or this acolyte one of them has recruited, how would any commoner just know peace is a lie?
Oh, they're in the little shady academy together.
Yeah.
They're working.
There was
under
a
the same
Sith
umbrella.
academy?
And it's possible that like in these 100 years until we get to like the Phantom Menace, all of this doctrine has been really squashed out. You know what I mean? And like back then, maybe it was more common known. People knew the parlance of this idea of like there is no peace.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they don't even know the name of their own master, so they can't reveal his identity.
Right, yeah.
But
May
it doesn't seem
know.
like Chimere's following the same path, but knows that this master figure wants.
He knows the objective.
Right.
And they're working together
And he knows,
with their
like-
skill sets to take these Jedi out.
Yeah, and he's kind of giving May a hard time. Like, are you going to use a weapon this time? You used a weapon last time. You know, we'll get into all that.
He's imaginary. So, Master...
Did he talk to anyone else? Yes, he did.
Oh, yes, he did.
One
He talked to
several
He's not imaginary.
Talked to a lot of people.
I love to throw that in there just to blow people's minds for like half a second, and then they're like, wait, no. So Master Soul and Jackie and Yord and Osha all arrive on Olega to investigate May's initial infiltration of this temple, but while they're being led through the temple, May sneaks back and confronts Torben again, but this time with words. And Torben wakes up from his meditation, and when May lays the poison at his feet, he demands that he either confess what he did on Brandok to the Jedi Council on Coruscant, or drink the poison and die. And he takes the latter with his dying breath, apologizes to May.
What did he
Interesting.
do?
Very interesting.
And he took an easy out instead of coming to face the truth of his actions.
He was like, wait. I could have just drank poison instead of sitting here for 10 years?
Yeah,
Yes.
being everyone else's problem,
Yeah.
people would have to have bathed him.
So at Star Wars Celebration in London a couple years ago, they Leslie Headland pitched a show as like Kill Bill meets Frozen, and I had no idea what she was talking about. Now the Kill Bill of it makes perfect sense. There's 4 Deadly Viper Assassination Squad who were Jedi who did something, and there was that moment at the end of Kill Bill Volume 1 where you see Michael Madsen. It's the only shot of Bud in Kill Bill Volume 1 where he goes, we deserve to die. And
Whatever-
like
whatever
he's
she's
waiting
doing,
for his
we
death.
deserve it.
And so that's how I view Torben here.
Yeah.
But I do see it now. Frozen, I think, it's just 2 sisters, and they're both powerful. Yeah. Okay, so Osha enters the room, just missing her sister, and finds the empty vial containing the poison. For a second, we had a Jedi just like that noodle cook who was like, "She did it! Get her!" And then that's all we need. Tackle her! Like they are so trigger happy.
I was so worried that was going to become a thing for an episode of like, we found her with the dead body. And I appreciate Yord being like, I was watching the whole
Yeah,
thing.
so do I.
I hate this girl,
not
and I
into
think
that.
she should be in cuffs all the time, but like, she didn't do it.
I just followed her to see
She's being a
where she would
creep.
go next.
He really waited to the last second too. Like maybe they'll fucking
Yeah,
kill
they
her.
accused her a lot, and he was like,
You know, the real reason he kept a distance is because she kept stepping on his robes and creasing them. And he's like, I need to make sure my robes don't catch a wrinkle on anything.
No, he was like, oh no,
we'll get to the binoculars. So Osha disguises herself as Mae to get information from Chimera, and upon learning that Mae will return that evening, they set up a stakeout, and Sol tries to keep Osha away from Mae, sensing that she wants revenge. Osha blames Mae for killing her entire family. Later, in the empty streets, Sol confronts Mae. He reveals to Mae that her sister Osha is alive, which is shocking news to her.
No, can confirm. It's true.
We're not on the binoculars yet, but we'll get there. Because we'll talk about the binoculars.
But this was wild, right? Like,
this is a big deal. She didn't know. Yeah, and then Sol, basically, the two sisters were lied to each other. Like, it's almost like a Parent Trap scenario, guys.
Were they lied to? Because neither parties, no one knew that this was the truth. And then she had that vision, and she's like, oh, wow, actually, I think my sister is alive. And then Sol believes her, and then they see it, so it's all unfolding. So where was the lie?
But I think there's a big thing because unless Sol is like reading her mind real fast, which I don't think that's happening.
No, I think that's what he
He
does.
he knows that Mae would think that Osha is dead, and not just assume that Osha is still alive. And he knew that right away to tell her that.
Yeah.
And I think that really says something that like maybe Sol was aware of Mae after whatever events happened on Brandok. Sol did something to get Mae somewhere safe. Safe, he thinks. I don't know. It was just all very weird.
No.
I think he's hiding a lot.
I think he's hiding. Honestly, I think these two girls are like a dyad of the dark side of the Force, and that the Jedi Order was gonna like try to split them up and told each of them that their sister was dead, so they never find each other, and staged this fire, but accidentally killed the other mom. And then Mother Anasea is still alive and joined a witch cult, and basically took the other daughter to keep her away from the Jedi. I think that's what happened, and then they found, but really someone did die, and that was the other mom.
I also think we saw Sol read Mae's mind because he's trying.
We tried to later.
So I think that he is aware of information, and I wonder if he's able to block his own.
Oh, maybe.
That secret locked.
Yeah, I think these four Jedi, so their blood must have been spilt in order for Mae to be this angry. But he's hiding he's hiding a lot from both parties, but there's no time to get to that because it's time for more fighting. Sol never draws his saber, but instead deftly avoids Mae's hands, feet, and knives. He even begins to insult whoever trained her. And during the battle, Mae does reach for Sol's saber as she did while battling Inara, but like Sol
just
Oh, so cool.
So good.
One more
Really
time.
cool
I don't know
stuff.
if we caught it.
What?
The move again. Yeah, and then where are they? And then you have them. There it
Oh,
is.
these knives? I also have your wallet. Also have your multipass. Ludalis.
Also have my heart.
Aww. I also have Indara's heart.
Too soon.
Dodge this.
At one point, however, Sol uses the Force to freeze Mae a foot off the ground as he tries to read her mind. A little dark side.
I read this as dark-sided behavior.
Okay, so I've got another whole thing with this. Like, if you can manipulate someone to do thy bidding, like that should be a dark side power, but only Jedi use that.
That force pushing is totally a dark side power.
There was
That I
force
think
pulling here,
because
too.
Obi-Wan did it in the first A New Hope, it kind of like screwed things up, and they had to be like, no, this is a light side thing. It's okay to do that. But I think reading a mind and like kind of holding someone down like that, it reads real dirty to me.
Well, I mean,
like, real
they don't
aggressive.
have the dark side, so now it's just all encompassing.
No, there's a dark side.
It's all free reign. You can just do whatever you want with these powers.
There's always a dark side.
Anyway, as Yord and Jackie close in to help restrain Mae, she uses the Force to kick up a dust cloud and escape. That was cool. We love this, yeah?
That was adorable.
Anyway, Mae speeder jacks a dude with a sick light up.
Sorry, I liked that dude. The guy driving the speeder. The speeder, he had that like built-in like visor with like a light on it, and he hit her in the street. He got out. He tried to help. He didn't drive off.
You know why he hit her? It's because those are binoculars. It's more binoculars, and he was looking 50 feet ahead and not in the foreground.
The city's not that big, guys. You don't need these binoculars all over the place.
It's a sound stage, and yes, they need binoculars.
When Jackie was using the binoculars, to watch.
Yeah.
There were red lights on the front that, like, it gives you away immediately.
Subtle. These guys do not understand the simple art of like laying
They're
low
10
and
feet
being
away
discreet.
and they're using binoculars on each other.
It'd be like
just
all of us
watching-
just looking at binoculars to talk to
I
each
know.
other.
Yeah,
Like,
anyway.
it looks like
It
we're
looks
on the
great.
stakeout. That binoculars.
So no, it cuts to Mae. She's in the speeder. She's just about to take off. And then what happens? Osha emerges from the alley. She's like, oh my God, that's me. But it's not. So that must be Mae.
Sister, never knew how much I missed ya. Climbing
you.
up the family tree. And sister synchronicity. Sister,
done?
Why didn't they get Tia and Tamara for this show?
Yeah.
They lock eyes. There is a moment. Osha errantly just shoots a stun blast. And it's like, hey, you went to the Jedi Academy. You don't miss.
She missed on purpose.
She missed on
missed on
purpose. We were saying
purpose.
this episode's like Point Break. If episode 1's The Fugitive, this is Point Break.
It was that moment. Lets her go. She drives off, even though it does like another pew.
She does another weak
Just so
shot.
you see it. Sol saw it though. Sol's like, you purposely missed. Sol wants to continue pursuing Mae in his ship because they know where she's going to next. But Vanestra says, you've got to come back. We need to have meaningful
This is so
conversation.
dumb.
Yeah.
We need to, and this is why you
Yeah.
realize that there's a collapse in the Jedi Council because they are too busy having meetings that could have been an email.
It's true.
They're currently
Meaningful
talking on
Yeah.
a holo call.
Yeah.
Why can't it just be
Just
like, let's
talk
just
right
talk
now.
now. Let's call in Master Yoda. We know his life. Let's get Yariel Poof in here. Let's get Oppo Rensisis. Let's get Plo Koon and just call right here.
This is the Jedi Council forcing its employees to come back into the office.
That's
That's
right.
exactly
And we
what
all
it
want to work from our ships now.
That's
okay?
right.
We've all got holocrons.
Guys, she was
we can
the
all
set-
just talk.
is. She was asserting authority. You
Sol
know
is
this.
more productive when he's working from his ship.
Vanestra's
okay?
like, I'm going to keep you in check. You know who's boss around here, this greenhead.
We're paying a lot of money to lease this temple on Coruscant, okay? It's not free. We've got lunch, free lunch in the Jedi Temple cafeteria.
These kids don't pay rent.
Snacks. So much Space Coke Zero. So much Space
so
Coke
good.
They get
Zero.
space bagels on Wednesdays.
No more Space Bagels. I'm so sorry. We can't afford the Space Bagels.
It's hard to force them out afterwards. In the final moments of the episode, we cut to a dense forest on the planet of Kofar. As the yokels stumble upon an old ship that they want to scavenge for hyperdrive parts, the Wookiee Jedi Kelnaka shows up. Shrek style, because that's his abode.
Yeah.
And says, get out of my swamp. But he does it so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Also,
I was so both
a Wookiee
episodes.
with powers. We love to see it.
Both episodes ended at like such a big moment. I was like, what? No.
Yeah,
I
they
want more of this
reveal
guy.
a
What were
reveal-
those two guys? Were they speaking Huttese?
Yes, it was Huttese. Because Huttese, you can always tell from like the anger with it. Yeah, there's a bit of anger. So favorite moments real quick from the episode. So many, not just the binoculars. I specifically liked that they insisted that this noodle cook show up to this Trade
They
Federation
brought him all
space,
the way there.
which we said was on the far reaches of the frontier of the space. He had to go all the way out there on
Left
what
his
ship?
son behind?
His son behind. And on what ship? Because vectors, Jedi
Yeah.
vectors only can seat one, maybe two.
Maybe two.
Maybe
Unless
two
these are
Jedi.
newer vectors since.
Okay,
100
we are
years
like
ago.
100 years
Yeah,
past.
because the Vector shows up. The two Jedi are on that. And then at some point later, this droid ship shows up. And at some point, the guy showed up too.
So was he on the droid pass or the droid? It's a prisoner transport. It'd be like getting someone on one of those prisoner buses that
Right.
they take into prison.
is
Like,
Con
hey,
Air,
can you
dog.
hop a ride with these other prisoners who are
Yeah.
already on the ship? Just because we need an eyewitness there on the
Yeah.
scene.
But
We can't just
my
get like
son.
But my son. Maybe his son is like waiting. But then what ship does he leave on? He doesn't leave on the Vector.
He's
He
stuck
doesn't
with
leave
the
on the
Trade
droid.
Federation
He's just
now.
hanging out with the Nemoidians on the ship.
They're like,
I'm
hey, we
glad
don't-
I brought her to justice.
they give him a spacesuit and be like, get out there and fix that, fix that shield generator.
So your favorite moments were the inconsistencies of story?
No, my favorite moment was just him showing up to IDER. That's the one.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she broke my bar. Is insurance gonna cover that? Do the Jedi provide insurance? Not in this galaxy. Okay, so that was my favorite moment. That plus the Force Foo. I love the opening
Yeah.
fight
So
with
do I. That
with
was
Indara
beautiful.
and May.
Is
So
that
well
your favorite
choreographed.
moment?
Yeah, one of you know what my favorite part of this show so far is this murder mystery kind of feel.
Yeah.
I love it when Star
cool.
Wars leans into a genre where it still has a slight Star Wars feel, but it really like builds the show around a new genre. That's when it does it the best, because we've had so much Star Wars here. And I do think that it's still got that feel. It is a very new era that we're in. I think that we are taking it like a duck to water. The problem is it spoon feeds you a little bit. If you got lost watching this show, that is entirely on you. They were giving you every single spoon-fed beat to this show. We are now going to this planet to do this thing. And you're like, copy that. I don't necessarily hate that.
I think that's very Star Wars.
I don't think it's like, I did talk to some friends afterwards and they thought that spoon feeding kind of deliberate nature of telling you everything instead of showing could insult some Star Wars fans, because Star Wars fans are smart. They are clever. They can piece
I don't know.
But insulted Star Wars fan?
What will they do?
Impossible.
Yeah, I think like so I had the opportunity to like hang out with Leslie Headland on Tuesday.
So cool.
Asked her a lot of questions about this show, and one thing she said was that she assembled the writers' room of just like there's 8 people, 7 of them are like diehard Star Wars fans from a different era of fandom. So you have like people who are huge prequel fans, you have people who are huge Clone Wars fans, you have people who are huge original trilogy fans, and then I'm assuming at least one of them must be a sequel trilogy fan, but they would never admit to it in the press. And then there's one writer who doesn't really know Star Wars that well at all. And I think that was super valuable in these first 2 episodes, at least in my opinion, because it really does, like, you don't need to be an expert in High Republic stuff. You don't need to know the Glup Shitos. I think anybody can just watch this show and understand that it's a murder mystery plot where Jedi are cops in this world. And I think that's to its benefit. I think a lot of Star Wars fans who tune into it are used to kind of like the Mandalorian or the Bad Batch or the Clone Wars type stuff, the Ahsoka episodes where it does have like, it requires a certain level of required viewing or required reading, and this doesn't, and it's to its benefit. Like I can't think of another time other than maybe Attack of the Clones where we had like a real like detective story.
Yeah. Well, I think at a show that's set in a totally new era like this, explain some stuff to us.
I was a little worried about it because we don't really have like a key figure to latch onto, which is why you'll notice that Skywalker Saga, it does always have like a key person that you're like, cool, give me this. Even Andor's a great example. You had Mon Mothma. You're like, cool, I've seen her in a movie previously, and now we can build around that because that's our anchor point. We do not have like a Star Wars-centric anchor point. We know that we've seen lightsabers. We know that we've seen Wookiees before. So it has that Star Wars feel. All new people, and I was worried about it. I mean, I am a little bit upset that they killed off someone who I think really could have brought a lot to this entire show, Carrie-Anne Moss. But I don't think that it's going to be deterrent. I think that there is enough there for new fans to really jump in on with this.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
My favorite moment was, I really like that Soul May fight. It was very fun. Again, the kind of Jedi Kung Fu is like a fun thing to see, and not just like resorting to over-the-top lightsaber fights right from the start. Yeah. Building up to it, a lot of fun. We got a lot more questions to talk about with these 2 episodes, but first we want to remind you to check out nerdriot.shop. We've got some great designs up there, and as always, we're cooking up some great new fun shirts and mugs and more to celebrate the latest and greatest in nerddom. Picking up some merch is the best way to support all 3 channels in the new Rockstars network. So head on over to nerdriot.shop, get yourself something nice, and maybe something nice for someone else. Okay, let's dive into some of our main questions from these first 2 episodes. What did the 4 Jedi do on Brandok that Mae is seeking vengeance for, and who really started this fire?
They did something bad. Next question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If they did something bad, why did it feel so good?
That's why Sith are created. Next question.
So we've only seen the first 2 episodes, and I know there's some press out there, some of our colleagues who were able to see the first 4, and I think it's because there's certain actors who show up in episode 3 and episode 4 that they were interviewing, so they just needed...
And good for you.
And good for you. I hope you're happy in hell. Knowing where this show is going. But I think I think so far it's a pretty interesting mystery. I mentioned Parent Trap, but I think there's something dark about these 2 sisters. Like, episode 9 introduced the idea of a dyad of the Force in which Rey and Kylo were just kind of linked cosmically in that way. I posed theories before that Anakin and Grogu could have been dyads because they were born in the same year. They're both literally the same age. So I wonder if these 2 twins are like dyads, or they're going to come up with a new name for it, but basically it's harmful if the 2 of them stay together and accentuate and build up each other's powers. So the Jedi Order were just kind of drawn to whatever signal that they were emitting and said, like, these two sisters can't be together, but it just got violent in some way. And they staged this fire in order to say, oh, the rest of your family died in a fire. I think Mae was taken, I think she was part of this witch coven that we see in trailer footage with Mother Anastasia. I think she was brought there, but maybe even rebelled against her mom and then found this other Sith. I think it's going to be a Sith. Yeah. And then Osha was brought into the Jedi Order, and they're like, we'll take care of her, and because we can't deny these Force powers, so we'll just see. We'll put them in two different schools and see which one can better nurture her, but we can't keep them together. But I just found it interesting, just a little background detail. Leslie Headland did talk about how she's a Gemini, and she's really interested in the idea of like twins and the different layers of like the cosmic entanglement that twins can have.
Does that mean because I'm a Pisces, I'm the shark man that was the prisoner in the first episode?
Yeah, maybe. With the head tentacle.
Yeah.
You reminded me of
Who
that.
are you with your star sign? Let
great.
us know.
Oh, I'm Pip, the little droid.
What's your star sign?
It is a star.
What's your star sign?
I'm a Leo.
No, you're better than that. Come on.
No, I am a Leo. I can't help it.
So it was so funny.
Karnaka. What's his name?
I'll be.
Yeah, that's Leo. It's giving Leo, isn't it?
I'll be the Wookiee.
Yeah, when I was in this roundtable room with a couple other like Star Wars creators that we know, like when Leslie started to talk about this, like half of the room all started to mention other zodiac signs of like George Lucas is this, and Dave Filoni is this. I'm like, you guys just know that off the top of your head what Filoni's zodiac sign
What's
is?
his rising moon?
I don't know how to say this to you. We're in LA.
Yeah, I guess so. But a lot of these people flew in from New York.
They put it in the newspaper every day. I think it is very interesting. You mentioned this, like, they separated the two, right? There is a line of dialogue, very Anakin-esque, where, like, they mentioned that they were worried about Osha because she was old when she came into training.
8 years old.
Yeah.
She was, like, older than normal. Which, again, it kind of shows that you have, like, kind of, you already have feelings and emotions, like, baked into you that maybe you can't control, and it's too late to start controlling those emotions. I don't know. That was interesting. I think there's something up with... at this time, they're sending Jedi to these like outer rim planets to kind of set up temples and be there, not to be the police, but to be there if you need help. You can come to the temple and they'll try and help out and they'll intervene if you ask, basically. And I'm wondering if like these 4 had been sent to Brandok and maybe not on purpose. Maybe they weren't sent there with intention, but they were like posted there. And while they're there, the shit goes down. And it's very interesting that so far, we know that 3 of them went to very remote places to be. Only Sol went back to the temple to become a master and like train kids. The other 3 went to very remote outposts.
Well, we don't know what Indara was doing. Was she just visiting with her old noodle friends?
Some noodles, yeah.
She's having some noodles with some old friends from college.
I think she was stationed there. I think it was like this was her planet where she wanted to be and be remote and be alone. Okay. And I think it's very interesting that they purposely went to these kind of remote areas. Now, I know that Jedi at the time are being sent to those areas, but I think it's
Do you think it's
there.
like, instead of firing someone for doing something bad, you just kind of demote them? And
You
is that what you're trying to
You don't
say
even demote them. You usually promote them and put them somewhere else.
2 of them were masters at least. And Torben, was Torben a master as well?
I think he was the master.
Kelnaka is a master as well, the Wookiee. Yeah, I think it is similar to that though. Like 4 cops do something real bad, and then like the police force, rather than firing them and admitting the scandal, they just kind of separate them on different assignments. But the victims will always remember and join the Sith and come hunt them down someday. Yeah.
You create your own Sith in a way. Your actions have created your own enemy. Do we think Vanestra knows?
No, I think Vanestra is, because she didn't know that there was a twin.
Right, because Sol purposely does not put that in the file, right?
Yeah, I found that interesting.
Mae died.
Yeah.
He saw
well, no,
Mae
I think
die.
it said, he says that he saw Mae die. I think he said the report doesn't even mention there was a twin
It was
ever.
such a secret that even the Jedi Order, who I imagine keeps records through their holocrons of anyone who has ever been Force sensitive, like they scrubbed it from the records so that even like Vernestra didn't know. And I got confirmation from Leslie, unless she lied to us, Yoda will not be in this show.
Okay.
At least in season 1. And I think they're using the character of Vernestra, who was basically like, here's your one character from the High Republic era, your little green wise elder from the Jedi or from the Jedi Temple, who will be the boss. So I think she represents like the Yoda authority on this show. And if she didn't know, maybe that was why. Because if Yoda were hoodwinked at this era in his career, that would be like
Yoda Yoda's just constantly getting hoodwinked by the
they
Sith.
couldn't hoodwink him because it would make him more paranoid for the time of revenge. He needs to be more caught blindsided in Phantom Menace. So in order to do that, it's Vernestra Rowe who has to be made stupid.
Riddle me this then. When he dies, Sol immediately is like, because he could tell. How come Vernestra, etc., cannot feel Mae's use of force out there? Because they're all connected. You can tell. I feel a disturbance in the force. I can feel something in the force. There is an entity that I cannot explain that is using some dark powers right now.
Sol's like a couple doors down. He's pretty close to Torben. And he's probably reaching out for Torben.
So Mae's too far away?
Yeah, maybe. And also, I think whatever happened on Braindock binded these four in an interesting way. And they're kind of in tune with each other. I think at that I don't think Vernestra's just like vibing out there to check on all the Jedi all the time to see how everyone's doing.
So my next question is, with this vision that Osha had to identify the fact that Mae was still awake because they were communicating through that, do you think we're going to get more flashbacks together? Or as what point was that? You know what I mean? Like you were saying that Kylo had that with Rey, and that they'll have like these moments where they're kind of like drawn together. Do you think that they're going to keep communicating and kind of be on each other's side?
I think you're answering your own question. That is the point, to show the audience right away that they have this connection.
This is what the balance of the Force is. So
when they're getting closer to each other, they connect. And that whole weird rhyme of like I give you, you give me. I'm wondering if they're even. If it's more than just twins, like they were one person who split into two or something, I don't know. That's too weird. Technically, a twin is that, right?
It's or one egg.
Identical twin is one egg that splits.
And they're not identical.
Two sperm.
They are identical.
Well, then why did they use two different children?
Because they were younger. It's the same actor. Like they have one young actor
but
and they have one.
Two different children for twins. Use the same kid to talk to it. You know, like
it wasn't two different kids.
You think that was one?
There were two different children.
I think there was
They
one
looked
credited.
Completely different. They were both at the premiere. They're both in the photo.
Maybe they're actual twins.
They're not. They look very different.
In the episode, they called them twins.
Look a little different.
I'm going by the show. They called them twins. They didn't say sisters. They said twins. Now, maybe it was, what's the other type of twin? Not identical, but fraternal twins or maternal twins. Because I don't know. It's still called fraternal twins.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right. I'm very confused, Mod. I have to rewatch the episode.
But these two obviously didn't know that they were dead. They're reunited, and it's interesting that Sol was like, even sifting through your thoughts continually go to your sister.
Yeah,
and
she wants revenge. She blames her sister.
Osha heard that. Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, is Mae thinking, oh my gosh, my sister's alive, I can't believe this? Or is she going, Osha's alive, I have to, I'm going to put her on the list as well?
I think she's always blamed, Osha has always blamed Mae for the death of her family. And then it's always just been in the back of her head. She assumed Mae was dead and gone.
Mae is thinking about Osha.
Oh, you think when Mae's thinking about Osha? I think the both of them hearing each other's name from Sol and then like connecting like that has like awoken. And then when they see each other finally, it's like, it's gonna make that stronger. All those things stronger. Yeah.
Do you think there's any connection from the name Osha to Asha? Because Asha is like traditionally Asha was the name, or I think it was Ashla was the name that Ahsoka took when she was on the run after during her period where she was but I believe the name Asha or Ashla, it's supposed to be something that was part of the lore. If you ask Pablo Hidalgo, representing the light side of the Force, it's some kind of concept or icon. So I wonder if Osha is just kind of a derivative of that, and then that's why they gave. Because in my head, I associate Osha versus Mae. I just have known people named Mae who are very nice people, so I think Mae is the nicer, the sweeter of the twins. They would say the evil twin would be named Osha, but no, I think the idea is that she represents the lighter side of that dyad, if it is a dyad.
I think Osha's just mainly concerned about workplace safety. You know what I mean?
I've been trying to figure out how to, chime in, say that joke.
That was one of my favorite moments of the episode when it's revealed that the Pneumodians are using living beings to do work that the Republic says only droids should be doing that work because
R2-D2's out of work right now because these guys are using humans to do it.
We all saw, R2-D2's debut when he's on Amidala's ship and his buddies just get shot off immediately.
Yeah.
Wow!
So let's talk about this mystery villain. Obviously, this is like the new, it's got to be Ezra Bridger under the helmet, right? Like, they keep doing this, but I really like that it's like kind of a recognizable voice that's been distorted. I feel like it's going to be an actor that we know because they killed off Carrie-Anne Moss, which I think for a lot of people might have been the biggest name. I know Amanda Leigh is blown up right now. I know
it's a big
Lee
name.
Jung-jae is a big name. Manny Jacinto, people know. But, like, I think they need, like, a recognizable movie star by the end of the show for people to feel. So I think it's going to be someone not in Star Wars canon. It's going to be an actor that we know.
I think it's Austin Butler. Gotta kill him without weapons, baby. I don't want you to see you. No, use no weapons. Kill the dream.
Kill the dream, baby. But the question I think we have to ask is, was whoever this mystery Sith is, I'm okay calling him Sith because Leslie Headland has said that there will be a Sith on the show.
Red lightsaber.
Did this Sith have a connection to Brandok? Did the Sith start the fire, or is the Sith just exploiting this trauma of these randos?
I reckon the Sith saved Mae, was a hero of that particular time, or there were 5 and he branched off. And so the 4 are keeping that secret and maybe know that person's identity, even though Sol's like, I don't know who the master is. And it's like, well, if you knew, you'd piece 2 and 2 together because, anyway, they could have been there at that time. But I think we're going to have some sort of, not Stockholm Syndrome, but because this Sith Lord rescued Mae, Mae has like unwavering loyalty to the master. And
I
now
love
this
that
is
idea.
like the rule of 2, and it's like the master and the apprentice.
That's really cool. Go ahead.
We assume this like villain too was a former Jedi. I mean, they have a lightsaber. Has there ever been an instance of like a Sith building their own lightsaber before?
Yeah, they're in the academy and they're like, oh, my kyber crystal's red.
No, but
what
like
does that
never
mean? And they're
becoming
like,
a Sith that never became a Jedi, like solely started on a Sith path and built a lightsaber.
Yeah,
Because I know the Sith will rebuild a lightsaber with their corrupted kyber crystal.
Yeah.
I mean, like starting from just red saber.
I think we've kind of touched upon this in the universe, especially with like, The Last Jedi, where it was like right at the end, the kid could move the broom. So there are a lot of force sensitive users.
Sure.
Like if Anakin wasn't discovered on Tatooine, he would have just been a really good pod racer for the rest of his life. It's like they try to find the force sensitive children to then raise them into the academy, but the amount of force wielders that have just like kind of known that they're a little special, like
Everyone
were
can
you a
do
child
it.
genius? Hey, you would have been force sensitive in this universe. Well done.
I think I think Sith don't have to have been former Jedi. Because back in the Old Republic, there was like armies of Sith. They all got destroyed. They lost the war, but there were 2 that survived in secret for millennia, and even blind to the Jedi. So I think this is just part of that 2-person Sith succession, and that they have their own lightsaber that they built. They bled into their kyber crystal, to turn it into the red blade. So this could mean that this is Darth Plagueis the Wise. It could be some other sorcerer or some other Sith before he took on who ended up becoming Sheev Palpatine. I don't think it's Sheev. Sheev was born in 84 BBY, so unless they change the timeline, Sheev's not going to be in this season. They've done it before, though. Like Vernestra Rowe, most Miri Allens are only supposed to live a normal human lifespan, and she's like 116 in this show. Right. So it doesn't make total sense.
Back to leeches.
Back to leeches! Prolong your life.
I mean, my grand theory is that Sheev Palpatine has always been alive. He's always been the Master Sith. And all these stories are just like stories he tells of like Darth Plagueis getting killed, never killed.
Then he would have been, I think he needed to have like learned how to conquer death. Like, so he made up the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Like, what benefit would he have to make up that story to Anakin in the Opera House?
It literally turned Anakin in that little speech.
Yeah, I don't think he would need to
sold it, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that George Lucas had that many layers to it when he was writing Revenge of the Sith.
I also think that the majority of Sith were raised in the Jedi Academy as infants, or like they were younglings. I don't think you can have that amount of tapped power of the Force without having some sort of really formalized training. You look at Ahsoka with Sith Daddy. Why can't I think of his name right now? Ray. What's his name? Greg Beard.
Wait, no.
Grey Beard.
Balin Skull.
Balin raised through the academy, and then when he graduated and was doing sort of Jedi stuff, he was like, hey, this ain't for me, and then he went as a mercenary. The same thing happened with the Sage Ventress. A lot of these people kind of like get to, it's like who you are in high school and who you are in the real world become vastly different because you're not surrounded by
I corrupted my kyber crystal after high school.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's
I just
all
think
that is.
Old Republic Sith were their own whole entity. Like they would have never gone to Jedi school. They were recruiting their own kids and building their own
You think
armies
there
and
was
legions.
a Sith Academy then?
I don't know if they would call it an academy. I think they would call it like, homeschooling,
Well, it's
right?
Not, it's not a classroom. They're out on the coastal line.
Yeah, they would do study abroad trips with their own weird little
Or
acolytes.
like weekend workshops with the Sith. You know what I
you do
mean?
have to
You
get
sign
your
up your own path.
apprentices.
I mainly was bringing all that out because like I'm wondering if this lightsaber is a way to like track. If this master was a former Jedi at some point, will that play into the story at all? Is that a way to figure out who this is?
I do like your theory that there was a fifth. There was a fifth one there. I just think whoever this person is, if there is a Sith master and a Sith apprentice who are out there right now, this is the Sith apprentice who's taken up an acolyte. So, for example, I think Leslie Headland originally pitched the show to be an Asajj Ventress show. Like she talked about how she loved Asajj Ventress, she loved Kira, and then she pitched it to Lucasfilm around 2018, 2019, right after Solo came out. And I think they said, we're gonna be doing The Mandalorian, we might do a live action Ahsoka. So that's another like female force wielder in a gray area that we want to like do a live action version of. But we are doing this whole High Republic thing. Kenny said it during the High Republic and then just remove the proper noun names from it. But so if you gotta look at Mae as like a potential Asajj Ventress character, Asajj Ventress was an acolyte of Dooku, and Dooku was actually the Sith apprentice to Sidious.
Sure.
So I think
where was Maul in all of that then?
Maul wasn't.
He's in the underground, right?
Yeah, and then after Maul was bisected, Sidious is like, peace, I'm gonna get Darth Tyrannus Dooku to be my new Sith apprentice. So Maul was like, I'm an outcast now, and was really pissed off, and Sidious like zapped him at some point at the end of Clone Wars season 5. Yeah, so Maul is just kind of on his own path. That is awesome.
And you see it in Rebels if you want to find the rest of his story too.
Well, and that's
he
the
comes
thing
back,
with the Sith too, right? Because if there's only two, a master and an apprentice, every apprentice is always like, well, I'm gonna be a master, so I'm gonna go find my own apprentice, right? Like, in the comics, like Vader kind of works up his own little like crew.
No, yeah, that's why Dooku was recruiting Asajj Ventress, is like he wanted to form his next rule of two to take on, because that's kind of how the Sith operate, right? There's always two, but the junior of them is always trying to recruit an apprentice to take out the senior. So I think that's what this mystery Sith is. It wouldn't be Darth Plagueis if Darth Plagueis is the master right now. It would be, and I think it's whoever the apprentice was before Palpatine arrived. Okay. And so he's a mystery character. They're not bound to any kind of character from EU or anything like that.
When you brought up Revan?
Darth Revan. Darth Revan's from Night of the Old Republic, which takes place prior.
Okay.
It's not a canon character at all. It was contained within the video game, but Revan's a very interesting story. The voice doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I don't think if they're gonna do something like that, they're probably like the amount of people who played the Knights of the Old Republic game, it would be,
So
they're making it for a mass audience.
This came out a long time ago. Essentially, sort of Darth Revan is what you realize. I think isn't a whole spoiler for that is that you realize that you are.
What, for Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah.
You can spoil Knights of the Old Republic.
I'm trying to remember what happens at the end.
I don't remember.
And I think the whole reveal is that Darth Revan's supposed to be this big bad, and it turns out like you're Revan. Because you had amnesia.
I am Legend?
Know. Like, you are Revan. So for me, it didn't make sense because I'm always a female character. But Revan's technically a man, and it's a man's voice. And I think there was a helmet involved. Oh, someone in the comments, you're going to have to help me. It's been a hot minute since I finished KOTOR.
Yeah, if it were KOTOR, we're talking about a Sith who was able to cling to life for thousands of years, but maybe he could even through the helmet. There's like Darth Momin was able to live on through just like a helmet, his spirit essence in a kind of a Horcruxy way. So it could just be the helmet itself possesses a spirit, and there's nothing underneath the helmet.
There's just the noodle guy under the helmet.
You wrecked my bar! Yeah, sorry.
I told you no weapons, huh? You almost killed my kid.
So let me know in the comments if you've got any Revan theories too. I want to hear them.
Yeah, or if you have a theory of someone else who could be under the mask.
Glub Shido.
Oh, of course you
Did they just name him
Yeah.
Glupshido? That would be awesome.
Great. Oh, that'd be great. It's our own version of the Masked Singer, folks. It's the Masked Sither. I don't know. As we do every after show, we like to have a little game at the end where we pick a favorite thing. No Studio of the Week this week. For the Acolyte, we're gonna pick out our A-list alien. Okay, something that's great about the Star Wars universe are the side characters, the one-liners you get from little aliens that pop in and out. They can be the most fun. Babu Frick. Babu Frick took the world by storm, folks. So we're going to call out our A-list aliens. Who was your A-list alien? Any side character you think really stole the show?
Well, and we say this acknowledging that humans in the world of Star Wars are also extraterrestrials because no one is on Earth in this world. But in universe, they have, if you go to Wikipedia, they refer to anything that's not human as alien, sometimes just to help you understand logically. We're talking about something that could be bipedal or no feet at all. Yeah. And it is just something that is not the human
Not
race.
A main character of the show. Like, who was like, who really stood out?
And I think we could say Vernestra Rowe or even Jecki, because Jecki is half Thelan. I think they count as well. We can use that. But my pick is going to be the weird little face hugger thing that flies. It's like a palmetto bug in Florida. It can fly. They fly now. And then it went up into the vents and crawled away. And Leslie did say that we're going to get an alien episode. And I hope this little fucker comes back. He was my favorite.
I do not like him. The fact that it was like pulsating over its mouth with those sound effects.
Wasn't she like, is he okay?
Yeah, and it's like, it's like a parasitic effect because like for the really, really bad murderer kind of guys, we've got to put them under in a particular state. And you're like, that is messed up. It's
horrifying.
Just like Flubber goes wrong, you know?
Flubber already was wrong, Mod.
Yeah.
Robin Williams.
He danced.
I have a great time. Basketball. It's not fair.
What other aliens?
Did you have a favorite side, or even a favorite side? I mean, I really popped for the Nemodians. It was just crazy. And they were like, when the Jedi showed up on the ship, and they're like, ugh.
Yeah, we're trying to do shady shit.
It's like, guys, you don't know how bad it's gonna get with you and the Jedi. But they were fun. Also, big shout out to the droids flying the droid ship who turned into chairs.
That was cool.
Awesome.
Lost it. I was like, that was so smart. Sorry, Evan. It's incredible because you don't see it coming, and you're like, and it's like,
So does that mean anytime someone's sitting in them, they're like, yeah,
sit on me, daddy.
My purpose fulfilled.
It's my weekend. I don't have to fly, and a man sitting on me or a woman. Anyone can fly a starship.
I've got to shout out to the youngling. It's still my favorite part. Now everyone close your eyes. And he's like, because he doesn't have eyelids.
He
literally cannot close his eyes. And I'm like, are we not going to have sort of like a discriminatory conversation about you asking the whole class? And everyone's like, psst, close your eyes. And he's like, I can't.
Mod, those holes were not eye holes, they were butt holes. And he sees out of his shoulders, so he closed those.
He closed his shoulders.
But he was passing gas through those face holes the whole time.
Yeah, what do you want him to do? Not pass gas? He could explode.
Anyway, he's my favorite. I want to see him. I wish he lasted and like he got done in the Order 66. Didn't see that coming.
Do you think they took out the red pen for the girl who's like, I see fire?
Oh, they definitely marked that on the file. He's like,
red flags.
Classismith.
Red flags. She needs to check in with security before she walks into the temple from here forward, because you never know what's going to happen.
Well, that's it for us today. Make sure to subscribe to the Breakroom channel right here on YouTube and give us a follow on Twitch where we do videos like this live. Mod, where can they find you on the internet these days?
Just look down. Oh, I'm making someone do work right now.
Yeah. Oh!
It's my force powers. What, like the force is hard?
That was Uncanny Valley.
Courtney, take your break.
Courtney, take a break. And make sure to follow
Evan's like, no.
Oh my god, you guys.
Make sure to follow the Breakroom on all our social channels at Breakroom and R on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, X, whatever you want. Make sure to follow us on Twitch. We'll catch you next time. May the force be with you. Latest Gators, goodbye.
And you.